We welcome into the Hyundai Texans radio studio, Coach DeMeco Ryans. Coach, great to see you. Before we talk about the Saints, let's review what happened at Atlanta. Some really encouraging, good things, but also down the stretch, having trouble stopping the opponent for that final field goal drive.
Yeah, very, very encouraging things that happened in that game on Sunday. Love the way our guys showed up. They showed up with the right mindset. They played physical. They finished, right? And I love that about our team. And we are very close, and guys see that. But you also see what it takes to win in this league, and it's those precise details that we kind of missed out on. A lot of plays, had a lot of what I call missed ops, like a lot of missed opportunities, whether it was on offense to create some explosives, to move the ball, right, convert on third downs. Defensively, missed opportunities. We're in position to take the ball away at times, and we didn't make those plays, right? It comes up in those big games, every game. Is a big game, but every game you're going to have an opportunity to change the game and make a play. Are we doing it in those critical moments? And that's where we fell short. But that's one thing is encouraging. You see our offense there go down and drive, all right, at the end of the game when we needed it most. All right, they had been sputtering kind of throughout the game, but when we needed it most, games on the line, they go down, they convert, CJ and Dalton connect for a touchdown. Huge play for us there. Now, defensively, yeah, we have to be better. All right, that wasn't good enough. We have to be better there to close that game out in a 2-minute situation. Better coverage, better rush. We have to close it out.
Coach, you've seen a lot from your rookie quarterback the first 4 games, but a 2-minute drive at the end of a game. You've been really good with the 2-minute drives. I talked about it at halftime. Your end of halves, the last 3 halves, you basically kicked a field goal on the last play of the first half. But to do it in crunch time, to do it in the 2-minute situation the way that he did it, what'd you learn about your quarterback that maybe you didn't know yesterday?
Yeah, you learn, you kind of see it, right, come to life, the poise that you have to play quarterback in this league. Like CJ didn't blink. He drove the offense down, made the right decisions when it was time to – what I'm most proud of, when it's time to check the ball down, it's not there. He checks the ball down, right, and we're able to gain an explosive on a check down. Just seeing him operate – in a critical situation, but seeing him operate with poise, seeing the decision-making still be on point, it was encouraging.
Well, that's 3 games in a row where he hits a big play on third down late in the game. Now, the throw to Tank and then the throw to Nico in the Pittsburgh game. Tank was the Jacksonville game, and those were games where you had things sort of in hand, but you wanted to put the dagger in, if you will. And then 3rd and 8, that's when he hit Schultz with the touchdown pass. It's 3rd and 8. It's a tough down.
Right, yeah. They're very tough down. And Schultz, you have to give him on the route. You talk about a great route, the way he set the defender up on the double move. Outstanding route, outstanding aggressive hands going in and keeping that ball away from the safety who was coming in. It was just really great precision by Dalton.
Coach, defensively against the run, I'm going to assume here that when you saw number 7, hey, Robinson's a guy we really got to stop. We got to be really good stopping the run, which I know is a tenet for your defense. You got to stop the run. But yesterday, you really did a pretty good job stopping the run. What went into that? What was key in you getting those stops on Bijan, especially early?
Yeah, the key was our edge set on the front side. I thought Jonathan Grenard, Will Anderson, they did a great job of setting the edge on the front side and seeing how fast our guys was closing on the backside and how physical they were showing up. Man, it was the best run defense that we played all year. It was physical, right? Guys were swarming. That's what it looks like. You want to stop the run versus a very tough run opponent, right? That was an awesome job by our defense in stopping the run.
Well, tell us what happened the final drive, because you were stopping the run throughout the game, and if you told me you'd hold them below 100 net, I would say, oh, it's a win with the 2-0 turnover victory in the game. But what happened on the final drive, Coach, that you can tell us about?
Yeah, right. I said the same things, right, to our guys. If I told you guys we held them to under 3-0 carry, right? We dominated in the run game, and then we wanted to have some fun rushing the passer. And that's where I felt like we could be better when it comes to in those 2-minute drives, right? When you win 2 minutes, it's going to be won by, being coverage, being where you're supposed to be, but also with our rush, we have to be better at affecting the quarterback, not allowing him to sit in the pocket as long as he did. We have to find a way to disrupt the quarterback. And on that 2-minute drive, we never disrupted the quarterback. He got the ball out, and the coverage was loose. He got the ball out, and we can't play that way. We have to play much tighter.
Coach, I'm always fascinated by guys that don't always get the credit, but somehow they're on the field, they're just making plays. And the two guys that forced fumbles for you yesterday, Khalil Davis, I mean, we've talked a lot about where he's come from and what he's done. And then Graylin Arnold punching that one out from Janu Smith, and then Henry punched the ball afterwards. But those two forced fumbles came from guys that I don't know if we expected a lot. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we didn't even know who Khalil Davis was back in training camp, and then he joins us. What have those two guys brought to your team, and what do they tell you about the kind of team that you want to build here?
It's kind of been an ongoing theme throughout our entire year, man. It's just the next man up type of mentality, and it doesn't matter who's in. Like, we expect you to do your job, do it at a high level, and make plays. And most encouraged by Khalil Davis and what he did. We've been trying to strain him on using his hands better, playing with better technique, and he did it this game. And he saw play. He was making plays all in the run game, and also there the effort play to go and punch that ball out. Big time play by him. Graylin also just the scrappiness that Graylin plays with, and to see him punch that ball out, man, that's what we wanted. We wanted to attack the football. Those two guys did it, and it helped our team to be in a better situation to win that game.
Coach, the running game, Dalton Schultz was on the post-game show, and he said, it's so close. It's so close to popping the way you need it to. There's just a little bit here and a little bit there that needs to be done. What does need to be done that you can tell us about?
Yeah, with the run game, I think, we keep going up front. Guys are on the right track. Just keep finishing blocks, right? Putting our hat placement in the proper place, right? And it comes to our backs, just making sure we're running the proper tracks and we're hitting the hole with speed, right? And we do that collectively each and every time. We pop some runs here or there, but I think there is, like Dalton said, there is more to be had in the run game, and it's very close. Better hat placement, better job of running our tracks, better job of finishing our blocks on the backside. We will get there in the run game.
Coach, I've heard offensive coaches say this, and we always kind of say this about offensive coaches. Whoa, they're setting something up for later. They're setting something up for later. Defensively, do you kind of look at it like that? Because I was thinking about that route by Dalton. Like, you had to be setting Bates up. Bates was a guy that liked to jump those routes, and that little nod and go gets him in the end zone wide open. Do you kind of think that way defensively, or is it a little different mindset in how you go about kind of calling the game? Like, okay, maybe that didn't work in the first quarter. We'll come back to it. Offensive feels like they're setting things up. Do you kind of feel that way defensively, or do you look at it differently?
It definitely works on both phases, offense and defense. When you're calling plays, you're seeing, right, how a team is attacking you, right, and what are they seeing, right? And now there may be a time to change some things up and throw a different coverage at them, throw a different pressure look at them, just to kind of keep them off balance. Right. So that does go into play on defensive play calling as well.
I got to think that you're not only teacher of technique as a head coach, but you're also part-time psychologist. And you've got these young players, Coach. I think sometimes people forget how young a team you are, the ebb and flow of weekly life in the NFL and how hard it is. How much do you have to talk to them about the psychology of it all?
A lot. There's a lot that goes into it. It's just that mental strain, like playing in the league, it's hard, right? Yeah. Every week. And it's different than any other job where you're going to have that final exam is what I call it on Sunday, and everybody's either going to be the best of the best or the worst of the worst.
It's pass or fail, right?
Yeah, it's pass or fail. So it's in this job profession that we have, you have to keep the blinders on, right? And you have to really stay focused on your job and what you're doing. And for me, it's just constantly driving home the type of mindset that we have to play with, right? How we have to operate, how you have to practice, how you have to be precise to win in this league. A lot of games are won by one possession, right? And our guys being in this game and seeing that, you see now what it takes. And you can't be relaxed first and second quarter, third quarter. You can't be relaxed in those moments. Like, that was the play of the game, right? Missing that tackle. That was the play of the game. And if you don't look at it like that, each and every play is the play of the game. That's where you kind of lose it a little bit. Yep. So guys just being on it, staying on it, it takes a mentally strong, mentally tough person to play in this league and to be a successful player in the league.
Coach, along those lines, I just hit me today. I looked up and I was looking at the college list and like, man, they're more than halfway through the season of what their season would be. And you look at ours, we haven't even played a third of our season. So you got a number of young guys. understanding for them it's a marathon versus a sprint, but yet on Sundays, I need you sprinting. How tough a message is that to kind of get to your young guys to say, look, this is a long one. You'd be halfway through, but now you're less than a third of the way through. How do you kind of deal with that with your young guys?
Yeah, it is tough. Tough on them physically and mentally. The longest time that they'll play, longest season that they've ever had. And it definitely jumps on them. And guys have to understand, to make it in this league, you have to do a great job of taking care of your body. Right, that recovery process, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, what does that recovery look like? Are you attacking that with everything that you have so your body can take care of you throughout, such a long season? But it's a teaching process that you have to teach guys, what it truly takes, taking care of your body, being dialed in, studying on your off days, coming over, watching film. It's a lot that goes into, right, being successful. And these young guys, it's a lot thrown at them.
Yeah.
And some of them, they start to get into their routine. They start to get into seeing what works for them. Early in the season, they're trying to figure it out, right? And, okay, when should I get a massage, or when should I get this? Like, they have to figure that out. And come mid-season, hopefully they found the correct formula that works for them.
Absolutely.
All right. Since the topic came up, how did taking care of your body change for you from your rookie year in 06 to year 6, 7, whatever you were doing differently? What was it?
Right. It's funny. My rookie year, I was coming in. I didn't even know about getting massages or anything. But a veteran pulled me aside, Dexter McCleon. He's like, hey, DeMeco, you get massages? Like, no. So Dexter, he's like, man, you have to be getting a massage. Like, you play every snap. So he actually paid for my first massage, and I was like, okay. And then I started making that part of my weekly routine, started getting into the cold, hot tubs, figured that out. And as I progressed throughout my career, I had to learn, like, you have to have somebody who stretching, right? You have to have a person that stretch, acupuncture, all those little things, massages, not only one time, but 2 times a week, making sure you're primed and ready to go.
What about diet? How did that change for you?
Yeah, diet had to get away from this Texas barbecue. Definitely what you put in your body, it matters. So that's where going later in my career, like getting with the nutritionist and understanding, like, hey, you got to eat the proper things to make sure your body holds up throughout the year.
All right, but you still look like you could play, right? You get that a lot. So how often do you work out now? And I guess a lot of that is also to keep the mind going as well, right?
Yeah, I try to get at least 3 workouts in a week. So 3 days a week working out, trying to first I'll get a break from the the film and the mental preparation, just to take care of myself and make sure, I'm dialed in, my body is in good shape and ready to go so I can sustain throughout the season as well.
Well, I can tell you were ready to dive on that loose ball yesterday.
Oh, man, I was close.
You were really close. In fact, you helped me, so I wanted to say thank you because I couldn't see that the ball was out, and then I see you about ready to jump off the sideline. I was like, I told Mark in his ears, like, ball's out. I think DeMeco said it was. You got the Saints this week, and I was thinking about this. Like, wait, your last year in the league was 14?
15.
15, okay.
Yeah.
So have you coached against guys that you've played against? Like Derek Carr, did you ever face Derek Carr in the league?
I don't know. I can't remember if I played against Derek or not. I played against, I can't remember.
It's been a while. I just thought about that because you're coaching guys like John Weeks that you played with at some point. But the Saints coming in here, back to NRG Stadium. It's a team you saw in the preseason, but obviously preseason is much different than the regular season, and you're going to see him here. I know you haven't gone too far into the Saints film, Coach, but I don't know if at some point you've been watching and studying other teams and you've seen the Saints. Your thoughts about Derek Carr and the Saints coming in here on Sunday?
Yeah, I think with the Saints, I think first and foremost it starts with their defense, right? Their defense has been stout throughout the year. Dennis has done a great job of their aggressive defense. They play tight coverage on the outside, so we're going to have a challenge there when it comes to their defense and offensively at getting Alvin Kamara back, and now he's starting to get going a little bit. He's one of the toughest backs in the league. You talk about a guy, great contact balance. It's going to take everybody, swarming, getting them down, not only run game, but he's really great in the passing game. So we have to be on it there. And it's playmakers all over the field. Them adding Derek Carr to their team, I think that's helped them a lot. Yeah. Right? Derek has been a consistent quarterback in his league for a while, made a ton of plays, Pro Bowl player. We're going to have our hands full, but we know we have, it's a tough matchup. right? I think we learned a lot from this last game versus the Falcons. We see how close we've been as a team. Now it's time for us to take those learning lessons, take them to the field on Sunday, and to come out with the win.
Is the Pete Carmichael offense a lot like the Sean Payton offense in general? I know you don't have Drew Brees, which they had for so long, but you have Derek Carr and a lot of the weapons that Brees had.
Right. Pete's been there a while, just as long as Sean Payton was there.
Yeah.
So it's similar, very similar, same offense to me. Quick passing game, right? Quick, get the ball out of the quarterback hands as quickly as possible, get it to the playmakers' hands. So it's the same as the Sean Payton offense.
Coach, I'm kind of watching yesterday. It was kind of interesting at times how their personnel groupings and you match your personnel groupings. We had talked about this, that there were some positionless offensive players over there, so there might be different ways you went about it. As a player, how much did you enjoy that chess match when you were essentially cerebrally going against the quarterback? How do you love that chess match now as a coach? How much do you enjoy that part of it as you're coaching through, kind of figure out where all those chess pieces go and defeating the offense that way?
Yeah, that chess match, that's what gets me going, right? Doing on game day. That's what gets me going. That's where I'm most intense, and it's me against the offensive coordinator, and that's how I see it. And that's my challenge each week. Am I better than the offensive coordinator? And I love taking on that challenge. It was a great one this past week because they had the different personnel groups, and you're trying to figure out within the game, okay, what are they trying to do with these two tight ends versus this back who's on the field. So trying to figure it out, and then you just settle in and make sure our guys aren't moving around too much to make sure we're settled. We can line up and just go play fast. So I love that chess match on Sundays. Yeah.
Coach, week 6, how fast do you practice at this stage of the season? Is it changing as we go deeper into the season where, as Johnny said, we're not even halfway through here, but you've played some football now, especially these young guys. How do you change the practice routine?
Yeah, the scheduling is all the same, but it starts to, as guys get used to what we're doing, it just starts to slow down. And I think on Wednesdays, guys are a little more sore than they were early in the year. So that makes the practice slow down a little bit. And guys are, I think Thursdays is that heavy practice day for us. It's going to be third down day, run. We got the pads on. It's going to be physical. Guys are getting after it. That doesn't change. And then Fridays, call it Fast Fridays, where we'll go fast for a couple periods, then we slow it down, just kind of jog through mode to make sure guys are dialed into the details of what we're asking them to do.
Coach, I don't even know if this comes up, but I'll ask anyways, because I would imagine kind of like, you were talking about school earlier in some sense, with an exam every Sunday, well, you get a break after next Sunday. You get the bye week after that. Is that any consideration going into this week that, hey, guys, we go a little bit harder, then you get the break, and you don't want to go into the break with a loss? How do you kind of look at it going into the first bye week for yours as a head coach?
Yeah, going into the bye week, I think you put it out there for the guys, which I've already done. Like, hey, this is it. This is our season.
Right.
Like, this is the one game that we have. This is all of our focus. Everybody all dialed in on preparation for the Saints this week. And we need to empty the tank. We need everything that everybody has, all the mistakes that we've made. Let's clean it up this week. Everything we have to go end up 3-3 going into the bye week.
Well, the last time you were at NRG Stadium was a tremendous emotionally bonding experience with the Texans and the fans, and you need another one, right?
Yeah.
You need the crowd there to lift you up.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we play well. Like last time we were at home, we played well, and we felt our fans. And I think it starts with us as a team, right? We have to go out, we have to play well, and our fans, they're ready to cheer. They're ready to be loud for us on defense. We just have to make sure we're doing our job and we're giving them something to be excited about.
All right, the Amegy Bank Ask Coach question of the week. We were talking about school. So here's the question. In school, when you're in high school or maybe even earlier, what was your favorite subject and what was your best subject, and were they the same thing? Because sometimes they're not the same thing. So you tell us.
Man, favorite subject. Lunch. No, I'm just no.
Yep.
Favorite.
Everybody's.
Favorite subject was math, and
Okay.
that was probably my best subject as well. So I did, some reason math kind of came easy to me, and that was my favorite subject.
That makes one of us.
yeah.
Well, actually, that makes two of us because Johnny as well.
Oh, okay. What
Yeah.
was your favorite subject?
English, literature, whatever.
Makes sense.
Reading,
Music
that
class.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Music, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I taught math for a long time, Coach, so I knew we had a bond in a different way. So the math bond is good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck
Thank
this week.
you, guys. Appreciate it.